Welcome back to Faith Formation at Home. This week in the Gospel, Jesus speaks right into the heart of family life. Right, the first half of this Gospel, he's talking about marriage, right, and marriage as this permanent thing from the beginning. God intended it to be this permanent thing between a man and a woman that's going to last forever. And then the next breath, he starts talking about children and the blessings that they are. Right? So marriage is a sacrament, right? It's one of these sensate encounters with God. Like baptism, God communicates to us through water. Communion, he communicates to us through what looks like bread and wine. There's oil in some sacraments. In marriage, the physical stuff of the sacrament is the husband and the wife. All right, you are God's gift to your spouse. And then that flows through to your children too. The family and God's intention is for the family to be this place of encountering God. The church calls it the domestic church, the church of the home, right? A place of encounter with God in the home. And that begins with the relationship between husband and wife. And then what flows from that is children. Notice how when Jesus talks about kids here, right, people are bringing him kids and the apostles are trying to get them away. And Jesus says, no, let the children come to me. You have to become like children to receive the kingdom of God, right? In some way, our children help bring the kingdom of God into our home. They're a blessing for us. Now, my family's not perfect. I'm sure yours isn't perfect either. Perhaps you've had a hard time living out this vision of family life that God has in store for us all. This is a perfect week for all of us to try to reset and recommit ourselves to living a godly family life, regardless of what your family looks like at this point, right? So parents and kids, this is a good time for all of us to recommit ourselves to, I want to try to have a strong family relationship the way that God asks us to, and try to reap those benefits that he says we'll experience in our family lives. There's an old saying, the family that prays together stays together. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. So what you're doing now with Faith Formation at Home, talking about your faith, sharing your faith, praying together, that is an excellent start to realizing what Jesus is talking about in this gospel. Our Bible story this week for our little ones from the Jesus Storybook Bible is a giant staircase to heaven. It's the story of the Tower of Babel. Right, this fun story from way back early on in the Old Testament in the book of Genesis chapter 11. Right, we've got after Adam and Eve mess up God's perfect, beautiful world, after Cain kills Abel and introduces murder and fratricide, killing of a brother into the world. After God floods the world with Noah and restarts again, we have another story of people just choosing to do things their own way. Right, the story of the Tower of Babel is essentially people trying to build a staircase to get back to heaven by our own initiatives. Right? People aren't asking God for help to get back in right relationship with God. We're trying to build our own way back to heaven. Right? You and I do this sometimes too. We try to rely on ourselves to do it all, and we don't ask God to help us out at all. Right? And notice in this story, it doesn't work. Right? God confuses their speech. They can't get there. They didn't realize that they needed a person to help them out. They need Jesus Christ. They need God incarnate to help us get back to heaven. Right? There's also a fun little twist on the Tower of Babel here that happens in the New Testament that the story doesn't mention here. Notice at the Tower of Babel, all of a sudden everybody's languages are confused and they can't unite together in their common efforts. Well, in the Easter season in the Gospels, when the Acts of the Apostles, after the Gospels, right, after Jesus rises from the dead and ascends into heaven, at Pentecost, what happens? The exact reverse of the Tower of Babel. Right, where at the Tower of Babel, people who used to speak the same language start speaking different language. At Pentecost, people who speak different languages all of a sudden can hear each other. Right? It's God restoring things in his church. He's trying to, now that Jesus had come and rebuilt a way back to heaven for us, not a tower, but through Jesus, now all of a sudden that confusion of language can start to be overcome. It's kind of a cool way where God is sort of a poet and he makes things in the Old Testament rhyme with the New. Catechism questions for our older kids focus on who God is. So now that we've gotten through the orange section of this catechism, or the first few questions in this catechism, right, that deal with how can you know that there even is a God? What is this God about? What is believing in? What does that even mean to believe in God? Now we're going to start marching through the Articles of the Creed. Once you can establish that there is a God, and he reaches out to us, and we can respond in faith to him. What is that faith? What do we believe in? We believe that God exists, but we also believe everything he revealed about himself. So what did God tell us about himself? All right, that's what a lot of these questions are going to focus on. I love this one. It talks about the creed as 12 facts about God, right? And these early ones that we're looking at this week focus on what can we know about God? What can we know about why he created the world and why he created us, right? And so I think it's sometimes helpful to compare the biblical creation narratives to other creation stories from other cultures, right? In ancient Egyptian mythology. I love ancient mythology. Ancient Egyptian mythology, you've got Amun-Ra, right, the sun god. He's the chief god of everyone. Well, Amun-Ra was created at the beginning of the story. The stories don't really tell us where he came from, how he was created, who created him, but they say he was created. And there's a whole bunch of other gods, right? Ancient Greece and Greek and Roman mythology talks about Zeus being this father figure of all the gods, but he had parents and other family members, and the myths don't really explain where those things came from. What's really different about the biblical creation narrative, there's a lot of things different about it, but some of the cool things that are different about it is God was just there. There's only one. There's one being, and he just creates the whole world, and there are no other gods. Right? There's no demigods, there's no half gods, there's none of that stuff. Right? God just says, let there be light, boom, there's light. Right? And what else do these creation stories tell us? They tell us God is all powerful. He makes the world on purpose. He makes it with order, and you and I, human beings, we are the crowning creation in everything, right? We're the culmination of that 6-day creation story before God rests on the 7th day. And in the second creation narrative, we are the thing that God stoops down and he molds the clay into us and he breathes his own life force into us. We have the breath of God in us. There's something unique about human beings in all of creation. We're the only thing that God made that can respond to him in love. Right? And so God made you on purpose. Why do you exist right now when you might not exist? You didn't exist before. Presumably you won't exist at some point in the future. Why are you here? It's because the creator of the universe thought the world is a better place with you in it now. And he created you with certain natural desires, natural abilities, and those are indications as to why he made you, what specifically he wants you to do in your time here on earth. That's pretty cool. That's a far cry from other cultures that say we are accidents, we're the enemies of the divine. No. That's not when God tells us why we're here. He says, you're here on purpose, you're here for a reason, you're here because I love you, and I want you to be happy with me forever in eternity.